me to solve it?
We might. Only if you're IT certified.
Yeah, good luck.
Green Rifle? Good evening. It's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. It's 6:30 p.m. This is the City of Franklin Common Council meeting. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Nelson.
Here.
Alderman Pecorelli.
Here.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Here.
Alderman Hassan.
Here.
Alderwoman Day is excused. Alderman Salus.
Here.
Alderman Craig.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we are going to stick to the normal agenda. Citizen comment period. Any citizen wishing to speak, come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. Limit to 3 minutes. I'll be the timekeeper. Seeing no one, close citizen comment period. Next, we'll move on to proclamation for Mr. David Lindner. And Madam Clerk, that was a good call on your part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step over there, and I know some members of the Lions Club that would like to take some pictures with the Lindners, so we'll all be over here when I read it. I'm going to get my spectacles because it is beautiful. Very nice. Trust you to guard that? Yes. Guard that with your well-being. Right in here, right? I'll be confused. Right? Okay. Well. So what we did is we got some information regarding David Lindner, and this was done by our city attorney, who does an exceptional job of making these proclamations, and it's kind of a montage with things with David. And just on a personal note, I served with him on the fire committee as well for that time, and known him for many, many years. He worked with my father. I was a department with David, and we're friends from back when he came out of the department. So I will now read this and in its entirety. A proclamation, recognition, and honor David P. Lindner for his service and dedication to the Franklin community in many ways for the public good and benefit. Whereas David P. Lindner spent much of his life dedicating it to assisting, serving, protecting, and benefiting the people of the city of Franklin. And whereas David started early in his life with serving others by becoming a member of the Franklin Fire Department in 1966, and thereafter providing some 3.5 decades of public service to both a paid-on-call and career firefighter, serving as a captain during the department's landmark transition to a full-time fire department, and having retired as a firefighter emergency EMT on May 1st, 2001. Whereas David also served to help protect and grow the public health, safety, and welfare of the community by being appointed to and serving on the City of Franklin Police and Fire Commission from September 2010 to March 2020. And whereas in terms of assisting in the celebration of life, David was appointed to and served on the City of Franklin Fair Commission since May 18, 1993, including assisting in providing good times and benefits of life annually at the St. Martin's Fair. And whereas in the realm of other services being donated to the public, David was a member of the Franklin Lions Club, which exists to serve the community, to improve the health and well-being, strengthen the community, support those in need, and encourage peace. David having joined the Franklin Lions Club on October 1st, 1974, and in 2024, having been recognized by the Franklin Lions Club for his 50 years of service. That is amazing. Whereas, unfortunately, for his family and friends and all, David left us as he passed away on October 31st, 2025, at the age of 78 years old, and will be forever missed. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, John R. Nelson, Mayor of the City of Franklin, on behalf of all the citizens of Franklin, staff of city government, and all those public officials and staff who knew and worked with David, and all the people that have served, hereby express our gratitude for everything you've done. Desire all positive results your life experience remain eternally. Presented to City of Franklin Common Council this second day of December, 2025. Give a round of applause.
Nobody, the boys want to see.
Yeah, if anybody wants to say anything about,
I will say, since I've known Dave since 1980, and was in the Lions Club with Dave, and when I moved up here, I'd already been in the Lions Club for 5 years, and Dave welcomed me, and Patsy showed me a lot of hospitality when I first moved up here. And Dave wasn't just a volunteer. Dave made it a part of his culture, and you don't see that as much anymore these days. But Dave set the example that volunteering and doing things for the city, Lions Club, for the city through, not just a chore, but he enjoyed doing it, really became part of the family. Boys and Patsy were many of the activities we had. The Easter egg hunt, St. Martin's Fair, all the activities that Dave was a huge part of. Back in the beginning, he and I helped run the youth baseball league before we had the national baseball league. And he and I did that with ongoing and a lot of hours, but we enjoyed every minute of it. I'm going to miss Dave a lot. We all will in the Lions Club, but we will not forget what Dave did and that we're going to carry on. Thank the family for letting Dave be a part of the Lions Club, because that is definitely family commitment and sacrifice. He did it for over 50 years. Our motto in the Lions Club is "We serve." Dave took that to heart. He met that mission. Thank you, Linder family. Appreciate all you do as well. Thank you.
okay, next up, a proclamation as Common Council President Alderwoman Eichman stands to speak of her proclamation. This is a proclamation from Governor Tony Evers. Governor Evers proclaiming November 3rd, 2025 as Election Hero Day in honor of all who work with elections. So Common Council President Michelle Eichman, if you want to have the rest of the election staff come up here and, whoa. So it's one great staff we have that gets this done, and we've got a number of elections coming up, and you've got the floor, Common Council President Michelle Eichman.
Thank you. From the office of the governor, whereas free and fair elections are the cornerstone of democracy and ensuring that every eligible voter can vote safely, securely, and without fear of intimidation is critically important to the functions and success of democracy. And whereas, while election administration is never an responsibility, local clerks, election officials, co-workers, voter education groups, and postal service workers have faced immense, unprecedented challenges over the past few years, and whereas it's important to honor election heroes for their commitment to upholding Wisconsin's free and fair election process by promoting voter engagement, participation, and protection, making sure voters have the information they need, and ensuring that every ballot is counted. And whereas, whether in Wisconsin or nationwide, election heroes never fail to display courage, resilience, and dedication to facilitating safe, secure, and successful elections. And whereas today, the state of Wisconsin joins all Wisconsinites in expressing sincere gratitude and appreciation for those who work tirelessly to protect the integrity of the electoral system and provide safe, secure, and accessible voting experiences to individuals across the state and country. Now therefore, I, Tony Evers, Governor of the State of Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim dated November 3rd, 2025 as election day throughout the state of Wisconsin. And I commend this observance in all of our state residents. I say thank you very much for all the hard work that you do through the election cycle, preparation for it, during everything, endless hours. No one ever complains. You guys are a great team. Well, not to me anyway. But we appreciate you greatly. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you. And the city clerk would like to say add a few words.
I just want to say that the dedication of our office, who works with the elections, deserves our deepest appreciation. Your commitment to accuracy, transparency, and fairness ensures that every voice in our community is heard and respected. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, everybody. Excellent. Moving on to item C, approval of the minutes, regular common council meeting of November 18th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
I second.
First and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. There is no hearings under D as in David. E as in Edward, organizational appointments of inspectors of elections for 2026 and 2027. I'd just like some clarification, and Madam Clerk already, I tipped my hat and hand to her as far as what I was pointing out. Because if you look at this list of names, you'll see some on here that are on the ballot for 2026. I pointed out right away Patty Logsden, she's on the ballot, and I was saying, well, is this something that we need to make a motion to remove these people from there? Because how can you be part of an election process and running for office? And then there's Mira, who took papers, again, if they're not in. Yusuf, who's currently on and will be probably running. Could be someone here that could be running somebody's campaign. So my questions to Madam Clerk was, okay, how can they ethically be on the ballot and then be on this list? And your answer, Madam Clerk, was?
Every 2 years, the political parties submit a list of names to us. They have till November 30th to submit the list of names to us. And then we have until December 30th to have them approved by council, and the period runs for 2 years. If you are on the ballot, you cannot work the election.
So when I'm in District 6, I won't be seeing the county supervisor working the polls.
Not if she's on the ballot.
Well, she's, okay.
Yeah, if you're on the ballot, you can't work the polls. That's state law.
Okay, what action, if any, are we taking on this?
You just need to approve the list, and this is brought to you guys every 2 years.
Okay, a motion to confirm and approve the list?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
First and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Yes, so next up is the consent agenda, items G as in George 1, 1A, B, C, and D. Is there any discussion about taking these individually, or can we get one motion to approve them all?
I'll make a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda.
Second.
First, second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G2, moving along briskly. Fire chief to provide a brief update on fire department facilities and mold remediation project at fire station number 1. Chief and assistant chief, good evening and welcome.
Good evening to the council. The project for remediating the mold at Fire Station 1 has been moving forward swiftly. We're at the stage right now where the Kelman Restoration has completed the remediation, which is the treatment and removal of all the bad stuff, all the mold from the containment area, which is about half of the floor space of the fire station. Since our last update, we have done a duct cleaning on all of the heating, ventilation, air conditioning ducts in both that containment area as well as the non-containment area, which is the remainder of the station, just because of concern that, hey, if the stuff was floating around, could it have been pushed through the HVAC into the other parts of the station? And there are 4 furnaces and HVAC systems that were cleaned and treated. However, the next step is because of that dust and materials that gets pushed out of the ductwork, we are waiting for a complete HEPA cleaning, which is a very thorough cleaning and disinfection of all the surfaces in both the containment and the non-containment area. After this, we'll be able to have our environmental testing done to confirm that the remediation process was successful. That'll be done by our independent contractor, Terracon Environmental. And again, our hopes is that once that testing is complete, it will certify that we have a safe and healthy environment. And our short-term goal is to get our firefighter paramedics, our paramedic unit, and our fire engine back into that station and operating as normal as our short-term goal as we begin to rebuild and reconstruct the inside of the station. The one item that still is hanging out there is the sealing of the brick on the exterior. We've had a couple of meetings with both Johnson Controls and the masonry contractor who performed the work. The leaking from the brick is better than it was before, but it's not completely sealed as of yet. So we're currently going back and forth with that contractor, attempting to determine who is responsible for the additional work that will need to be done, what the scope of that work will be, and how long that it will take. And that's the part I think that's most concerning now is the initial proposal from that contractor who did the original work was $12,000 just to do one area along one wall in the kitchen and day room area, which to me, not being a building contractor, it seemed to be a bit high, especially going back and fixing work that was supposed to have been done correctly over the summer. So that's an area where we're currently working with Johnson Controls, be reaching out to the Director of Administration for some help and assistance on that, but we'll be working with them to see how we're going to proceed with the brickwork. We did also find that there are a couple of windows in the fire inspector's office that do need to be replaced. That was not part of our original plan. The good news is that the water intrusion is just strictly a problem with the windows and not with the walls or structure of the fire station. It's a window replacement, but it's an additional item that wasn't really planned for in our original scope of work. So moving forward, we are going to, again, be working on getting quotations for that rebuilding process. There are some cabinets, both in our front receptionist area and also our day room and kitchen area. The particle board cabinets, when they were removed, they sustained some water damage and they will need to be replaced. There was some hope that we could reuse them, but it looks like they will need to be replaced. And then lastly, just opening up an invitation for any of the alders that would like to take a look firsthand at the station. Would welcome you to drop by and take a look so you can see kind of what we're dealing with. The environment is safe right now to enter, and it's a good chance to be able to see the inner workings of work that's being performed.
Well done. Questions, comments from the council? There's a motion to accept and place on file.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Well done, thank you for the update. Number 3, G3, a resolution authorizing external officials to execute a quarry monitoring services agreement with Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. Anybody, I mean, we can adopt it. I mean, is there questions anybody has on this?
I'll make the motion to adopt.
I'll second.
All right, first and second, any further questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Regular, that is a wonderful tie. G4, resolution conditionally approving a land combination for 9447 and 9461 South 27th Street. Tax key numbers 879-9997-000 and 879-9999-000. I don't believe the applicant and owner is here. So are you speaking in for Marion X on this? I love it.
If only if you have questions. This is combining two parcels of the former Buckhorn Tavern site. The resulting parcel will be like approximately 1 acre. And the Plan Commission recommended approval.
Right, this is real easy. One thing I like to show to the group is look at page 117. There's a color breakdown of the combination of these two lots. And I can tell you that since the Buckhorn was taken down, there's quite the buzz of what people would like to see there, and then also people calling about ideas and what would be acceptable use and permitted use, and it goes on and on and on and on. And I think when they came here, the owners and what they're thinking about doing to combine these two makes perfect sense. Plan Commission was 100%. So we'll open up for discussion before we go to motion.
Make a motion to adopt?
I'll second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
G5, very small text. An ordinance to amend Chapter 92 of the Municipal Code for building permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule of permit fees. An ordinance to amend Chapter 190 of the Municipal Code for plumbing permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule of permit fees. An ordinance to amend Chapter 118 of the Municipal Code for electrical permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule of permit fees. Director, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Council members. What you have in front of you tonight is the proposed building, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC permit fee increases that, if approved tonight, will go into effect January 1st, 2026. Permit fees have not been increased since February of 2022. And in conversation with the Director of Finance, it was determined based off the Consumer Price Index to raise the fees on average of 9%. As you can see, most of the fees are around the 9%, some of them slightly above, some of them slightly below. And that's based off surrounding municipalities. I didn't want to exceed those, didn't want to go above it too much. Some of the permits I brought in conjunction, like the building, plumbing, electricals, they're all the same across the board. I didn't see a reason for keeping them at different prices. So that's, but across the board, I think for the most part, it averages out to about 9%.
Well done, sir. Questions on this, Mr. Peccarelli?
I just have, I think, one. So on page 8, there's a technology fee that went from $7 to $10. And then I think there's another technology fee. And
All three technology fees
Yeah.
would be, yeah.
And the other ones have required for all permits, but under the first one for the permit fees, it doesn't have any information. Is it required for all permits or for all permits, or is it only for some?
The technology fee, it's all permits across the board.
So can we get language on that first set that it says the same language as the other two?
On which one is that?
It-
The tech fee for the building or the?
Yeah, for the tech fee for the building, doesn't have any of that verbiage after it. The other, the electrical and the plumbing both say required for all. I think it says required for all.
Number 44 in the building, it says technology fee required. Oh, that's the electric, sorry.
Yeah, so that has it. It's the first permits,
Okay.
the building permits. If you can just get that language added on there, I think, I didn't have any issues with the amounts. I just thought it would be helpful for clarification.
That's a simple fix.
Yep. Thank you. That was it.
Okay, Alderman Sluse.
Just a question, do you have it off the top of your head, like how much did we raise or collect fees for last calendar year? Do you have such an information?
I don't have an accurate number. I have a number which includes the impact fees. I reached out to Director of Finance and I was not able to get the permit fees alone. I don't know if I have access to that number. But including impact fees and everything, there was $2,324,867. So at a 9% increase, you're looking at $209,238. Now, that number is skewed because the impact fees, those will not be raised at 9%. I'm still waiting on that number to change those fees.
Like in a perfect word, the fees, it's just like pretty much like for the inspector to cover the inspector services to inspect the jobs and the plan
Correct.
examination and stuff like that. How close, are we close be a kind of a self-sufficient of a department or far off? Like, you know, do we charge enough fees very much to cover the salaries of our inspectors?
I haven't been told otherwise. I don't know exactly. I think that'd be a question for Danielle. But I think if we weren't, I would be told.
Okay, all right. That's okay, I'll reach out to her. Thank you.
I was going to say, Alderman, to your point, we can get clarification from our finance director. She can provide that. Shouldn't be an issue. But whatever that answer is, if that answer could be shared with the entire council, please.
Thanks.
You still have the floor.
I yield.
Okay, so I see there are 3 different motions here. Do we have to do 3 for each one building, one plumbing, one electrical, sir? Can we take them all together? What's that? Well, I was going to say, well, I'll tell you what, instead of looking it up. Okay, first motion to approve ordinance number 2025, an ordinance to amend chapter 92 of the municipal code for building permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule or permit fees. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion to approve ordinance number 2025 we'll leave that blank, an ordinance to amend chapter 190 of the municipal code for plumbing permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule or permit fees.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
First and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Number 3, motion to approve ordinance number 2025, an ordinance to amend chapter 118 of the municipal code for electrical permit fees to repeal and recreate the schedule or permit fees.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Well done, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
2G6, authorization to contract with QPS Employment Group, Inc. for temporary HR staffing services. This will be our Madam Director of Administration, Ms. Hirsch. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you. I'm also going to invite the city attorney to this conversation because he has been doing much of the legwork while I've been on leave to kind of get in place our standard contract agreement language and to kind of get more of the details. City attorney, would you mind pushing your button? Thank
Push.
you. Thank you. So I think maybe what would be best is if you can give us an update on the status, because I know that this was from last week. I've seen some emails come and go, and just wanted to get that status. It's obviously a little bit more fresh than what's on here today.
Well, when I saw the agenda packet, I did email the contractor, and because there was no specific amounts of time or dollars involved, et cetera. And I did get a response today, and an example is, okay, QPS provides the employee staffing, et cetera. And this administrator, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I did not deal with this at all. Until, but then the city decides whether or not that particular staff member provided by QPS, if the city would be interested in hiring that person as the replacement. And the fee, if that occurs, the fee to QPS would be 25% of the salary amount for the year.
Correct.
And example they gave me was, oh, if it's 90,000, that would be 22,500. And then also with regard to that employee working here, QPS does charge the city, and
A premium or a markup for like an hourly rate for just temporary employment if we weren't going to place the position.
correct, and the dollar amount given this afternoon was hourly rate would be $43.27, and multiplied times 1.60, 60% markup. So it would be a $69.23 total hourly rate billed to the city. And then with that, it goes up to 600 hours as provided there as a cap. So that's another $41,538 with regard to providing this employee. But out there in the real world, that is city paying for someone working in that position.
With the benefit package.
I don't
No,
know, I
I mean-
don't do H.
Well,
That-
I'm
not
I
for
know you don't,
temporary, but yeah.
but that's, I mean, that's why it's higher, because we're not paying the benefit package.
Well, we would be
Saving that.
paying their fee, which is how they make money and have a business, essentially.
Right.
And I did send them the standard city form services agreement, and that was returned today, and they did fill something out. It's pretty close to being done. And when they responded late this afternoon with these numbers, they also sent a copy of an agreement with the city from 2023, I think. I don't believe I had anything to do with that, and it didn't involve the standard form. It was just their form, and it was only signed by the mayor back then. So that was probably a HR process of some sort.
Right, right, it was. And I know that, as you had stated, the dollar amounts weren't provided until today, so I would actually recommend tabling this. Because I think that it does require conversation with the finance director to even see if this is something that would make sense or not. I know that the HR manager's position was one that we had held over in the 2026 budget to make room within the budget for the necessary deductions. So I think that maybe this is something that, given the dollar amounts coming in late this afternoon, would require further discussion with the finance director. It's just my 2 cents.
And I agree that we need to perhaps hold it over. My concern is, so when is Dana Zahn's last day?
Tomorrow.
So her last day is tomorrow.
I thought it said the 4th.
My if all goes well with my appointment with my surgeon, my leave would then end on the 4th. So I would be returning on the 4th.
But I guess, okay, so in the realm of reality, that everyday HR functions, everyday HR tasks, everyday HR questions, demands, everything then falls onto whom?
Me.
Right. And I am absolutely not a fan, don't support that, don't like it, hate it, because that is absolutely, even though you oversee it, that's fine. You're not in the nuts and bolts of the everyday questions that employees have.
Correct.
I mean, we've got, how many employees? 200 and what?
50, approximately.
So I heard 251, 250, let's say 250 and a half. Got a lot of employees that they have questions, they have issues, they've got families to worry about with medical stuff. I am very, very, very concerned that it's way too risky to hold this open. Way, way too risky. This is not something you just wake up and say, oh yeah, I got form XYZ and blah, 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 blah. No, that takes training. It takes that skill set, and our employees deserve and need someone that's there, that's to work with. Now, and we had, as a reminder to everybody, we had, what, less than a 30-day or maybe max a 30-day notice?
Somewhere around 30 days.
It was 30 days max to somehow conclude and figure out what to do with an employee that's been here over 20 years and handles the day-to-day operations. So that's a concern to now, oh, she retires and now, yeah, we'll just get, Kelly will just take it over, who's been gone for 6 weeks with a major issue. So now she comes back to her normal duties, which include but aren't limited to running the engineering department's day-to-day staff issues, not projects, but staff issues, and every other assignment that she has on a day-to-day basis. So I think, and again, this needs to go to Danielle on the quick, but I think we are going down a dangerous path. I don't like putting the employees out there. We've got positions that are posted, some that need to be addressed and filled, and we've got, I was in there when Kelly, came in for an onboarding. I mean, there's a lot going on the daily, that our employees need to have answers to. And I'm very concerned. Am I not happy about QPS waiting till the 11th hour to give us their numbers? No, I'm not. But we work with them in the past. We have a contract with them, or not a contract, but we have a past work experience with them, providing us candidates that worked here. So I'll yield for now, but I'm thinking that we need to come up with some solution tonight to not leave the employees in the dark. So the first one up is Alderwoman Eichman. Before Alderman Eichman, we're going to go to Director of Administration, then Alderman Pecorelli. So DOA, then Alderwoman Eichman, then Alderman Pecorelli, then Alderman Salus.
Thank you for everything that you said, and all of that is true, and therefore maybe we can change the motion so that way it has flexibility, so the city attorney, the director of finance, and myself can talk and work on this agreement.
Alderwoman?
Thank you. I have a few things.
Attorney wants to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If we were to approve this with QPS, does that mean then we would not be posting this job and that would lessen our pool of qualified applicants? Would this still be posted or we have temporary help?
We don't have this job posted. She's not posted her own job. From my understanding, that has not been posted. We wouldn't be looking to fill that position. That means that they would be looking to fill the position.
What if we don't like the candidate that they send us?
Then you would work with another candidate.
So we would keep going through candidates until we found the right one versus posting it?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure it's probably in the contract that's in front of us, but I'm not exactly sure how it works.
I just personally feel posting it would open up the pool of applicants and give us a chance for everyone to meet the potential HR person because of all the reasons mentioned earlier. It is such an important position versus just looking at one applicant at a time. So I'm just wondering if there's a way where we could still use the services of QPS, post it somehow, the applicant, the temporary help could also apply for that. Is that something that's doable?
Yes.
That would just, like I said, that would widen our pool of applicants.
No.
Yeah,
That-
hold on, for
The
what
contract does not work that way.
her answer is, because when I talked to the QPS rep, your scenario that you just gave is the answer, is the person's there, that person could work into the full-time position if we chose to make that such. So right now, they come in, well, I'm just telling you, I talked to the rep, so hold on. So that person comes in, the person gets hired, they're hired through the temp agency, which is QPS. We can then, at any point in time, we can post a position. We can, there's options. We're not pigeonholed to one thing. Pam?
What I was going to say is just to clarify that we wouldn't hire the person outright. That is what the contract is about.
But to the Alderwoman's point, we could post the position because we need to post it. That person could apply for that position, if that was what you were looking at.
That would be my preference.
I'm sure there's a clause in there, like a non-compete or can't direct hire.
Because that's what they said, that a person could work into the full-time position was what I got from the rep.
Right. And should that candidate or the temporary help work out and it's somebody that we'd like to approve, that's great. But if they don't work out, whether it be a personality clash, and there's numerous reasons why it may not work, then we part ways with that temporary help, then they bring in another candidate. What if that person doesn't work out? I mean, this could take over a year to find the right candidate versus posting it while keeping the employees from QPS in mind for the position as well. I just think it broadens the horizon. I'd like to see somebody come in and work for the city with the longevity that our former HR manager had. And in finding that right person, it's going to take time. And it's going to take going through a pool of applicants, I feel. And my other concern I wanted to mention is we've not had a personnel committee meeting. I sit on personnel committee. The personnel committee is not at all aware that our HR director is leaving. I'd like to request an email go out to the personnel committee so when we have our next meeting, everyone's not shocked and surprised and we can go on with normal business. So if it'd be appropriate for Kelly, unless you'd like me to contact those, just as a heads up that she's leaving and she won't be at our next personnel committee meeting, so everyone's aware. And if they have questions ahead of time, they could direct them to the mayor or Kelly, not that I'm going to put my work on you, Kelly, coming back, but those are the two things that I have at the moment. Thank you.
Council?
Thought is that
Ellie, can you help him? Everything was wonderful. Don't touch.
Thought is that the motion on the action sheet covers the concerns, because it gives time for discretion by the administrator while this is being reviewed. And the administrator has heard there's a concern about posting, there's a concern about if there's a specific temporary employee that city believes should be terminated, that there should be potential process for that, et cetera.
Mr. Pecorelli?
Thank you. So, one, I don't necessarily have an issue with kind of using this as a way to get somebody in quickly so that you don't have the gap while you figure out what we got to do longer term. I'm familiar with kind of these arrangements. There is benefit. So from the hiring standpoint, there is benefit to having somebody in and working in a position because it gives you a chance to see how they work, as opposed to when you just do an interview, you only see how they interview. You don't get to see how they interact with everybody on a day in and day out basis. So there is some value to having them here for a longer period of time, and you can kind of get an assessment. And typically they will give you the ability to interview. So I think that's something you got to make sure that's in there is, so you essentially get a chance to interview your candidates before they're coming in. So whatever contract resources they are, you pick which one, they come in, they start working. Technically, it looks a lot like if you're hiring somebody, but you have the option, if that doesn't work out, to switch a lot easier than you would an employee. And then if you are interested in them, I think you got the 600 hours in here. Once you clear that 600 hours, then my understanding reading this was, if you're going to hire them, then there's no extra premium or anything we have to pay. If that happened before there's a premium you have to pay. I think, did you say that it was 25% or something like that? Or something roughly?
Percent
Is the premium on top of?
for the hourly, and
Yep.
then there's a 25 to the salary.
To the, okay. Oh, okay. So it depends on what it is. Okay. So I don't necessarily have a problem with getting this in place so you have coverage, because I understand it is a critical role for a period of time. I would like to have something where it comes back to see how things are going and kind of like go over the next step. So I don't necessarily have a problem with approving it to get it started and then come back and say, hey, where are we at? What are we thinking? What's the next steps? If that's in January or February, but so we got a better understanding of what we're doing, what the status is, and then what's
I
our
would
longer-term
almost like
plan.
to see a monthly status check, because this is that key of a position, and
Yep.
we're gonna know if something's good or bad right off the bat, but if we have to, monthly at the most, if we need to come back earlier, that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say until you decide that you're gonna hire, right? And then that would kind of end that, because that would be like any other position. So that was my other comment was, how do we settle on QPS? QPS, but you answered it earlier that we've done business with them before, so. Okay. I yield. Thank you.
Alderman Salus?
In my opinion, hiring a staffing company to just to recruit a candidate for us, at the end of the day, the city has to interview the candidate. The city has to do, to feel comfortable with that candidate, regardless what the staffing agency provide for us. I personally feel that we should post the position as soon as possible and start accepting applications. And one other step, I'm just like wondering if there is an answer to that. Is there any chance that we can discuss or talk with the current, the outgoing human resource manager to see if she can stick around like a little bit longer to give us the ability to, replace her? Because 30 days, this is very important position, and the 30 days is not enough of a time.
It's not going to happen. It's tomorrow. I mean, and she's got other factors of why she chose this date.
Can you talk into this, please?
It's not going to happen. She is retiring tomorrow. She chose the date, and she has other factors of why she would not, why she chose tomorrow.
Is a part of her contract, any person can just submit
There's no contract.
no contract?
She's an employee, an at-will employee.
So any employee in the city here can give just a 30-day notice and
They don't have to give any notice.
nothing? Yeah, I still, I'll stick to my position that the city post for the position and interview the candidates directly. I yield.
Okay.
Back to Mr. Pecorelli, then Alderwoman Eichman.
So if we were posting for the position, best case scenario, how long does it take from the time we post, get through all of our interviews, get our candidate, get them to get out of wherever they are currently at if they're already employed, and get them hired? What is that 2 months? Is that 3 months?
I would say two at the
case.
best.
Best case is 2 months.
I think best case is 2 months.
So that's where I'm looking at this as using this as a bridge. No matter which route you're going to go, you need a bridge. Otherwise, you got months here where you're going to be sitting here with no one in this position. And you're going to be trying to hire for a position that my understanding is they're responsible for a lot of these items. So the problem is you're going to be dealing with a lot of items related to everybody else, and then on top of it, trying to hire into this position. So I just look at it as a way to risk mitigate while you're going through that process. So even if you decide to post, you can have somebody in the position that's doing that day to day, that frees up the other individuals that are working here to get what they need to get done. Best case scenario, we get through it in 2 months and we have a candidate and we're done with using QPS at that point. Or the worst case is that takes longer to find the right candidate, or we find we ended up with the right candidate through QPS, but it kind of gives us a bridge during that period of time. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting here with, let's say it takes longer than 2 months. Every month it's going, we're going to be sitting here going, well, maybe you're going to get to a point where we're going to need somebody in here. You're going to hit some max point. And so I just look at it as, from a risk mitigation standpoint, get somebody in, get that covered while you're working on whatever the long-term is a best course of action here. I think in terms of just total dollars, even if it was 2 months, it's a relatively small amount of dollars in the grand scheme of everything, especially from a risk standpoint. You're going to, while others are working on those items that come up, they're not working on other things, so what's going to get dropped in all this, right? So I'll yield.
So Alderwoman Eichman, then Alderman Craig.
Thank you. I feel the same way that Alderman Pecorelli does in his statements. My question is for clarification. What was mentioned earlier, if we can go over that, where there was concern where our city administrator wanted us to table this until we talked to our finance director? Had these numbers been run past the finance director? Probably not, because they just came in last minute. I didn't know the finance director was out.
And that was to council's thing as well, the motions there, which allows them to work through it. which makes the most sense. So to your question is kind of answered earlier, and which makes, it covers your concerns, and it allows them to move forward with the ideas that we've already heard tonight.
I appreciate that clarification. I just wanted to make sure, since unfortunately we got those dollar amounts so late today. But I do agree, we need to get somebody in there. It's only fair for our 250 employees.
And me.
Nothing against our city administrator, but you can only do so much. You're overseeing engineering and other things as it is, so it's an important role that I feel we can't leave empty. So with that, if the motion can be made as is, unless there needs to be any changes to it, Counselor, then I'll go ahead and make the motion.
So we've got a first. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Further discussion. Alderman Craig.
I just wanted to kind of put a bow on this to echo Alderman Pecorelli and Alderwoman Eichmann's point is that, as stated in the council action sheet, is that this is for temporary and as needed. So this is not hiring for permanency. This is just, as has been kind of raised as a flag and kind of looked at quite a bit now, is that this is to get us through the period of the day after tomorrow and then till day one of the new HR director or manager's filling of that position. So very much of just, this isn't a always thing, this is a as needed thing, so.
Great. We got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. G7, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to agricultural lease agreement for farmland use upon city property bearing tax key numbers 892-9999-002, 0 South 112th Street, and 937-9999, 004, 0 West Oakwood Road in Frank, Wisconsin, and a landowner statement in relation thereto. Mr. Wazalowski, if you don't mind turning your button. Yep, it's on. Don't touch. See? We're all good.
The request came from the lessee, John Napientek, and he's been doing this for forever. And the lease, as included in the council packet, expires at the end of this year. He wanted an extension. So I did that, received comments as to increasing the rent, increase the rent from $100 an acre to $125 an acre, so 25% increase. Also put a termination provision in there in case the city wants to do something with this property. You give them 180 days, 6 months notice. I discussed all of this on the telephone with him, and he was fine with it. And today, he called, and I said, please figure out how to get on your computer at home and look at this on the city website and let me know if, one more time, if you have any issues with any of the changes. Otherwise, I'll assume you're A-okay, as you said previously, over the last week or so. And he didn't call me back, so same as last time, if the council approves, then we'll get him to sign and finish up the execution of these documents and fill out that state landowner statement form, et cetera. And he did, when he called today, say he does have the updated certificate of insurance.
Good.
I'll make the motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Further discussion by Alderman Salus.
Just like for the record, I know someone who owns a piece of land very close to that site, and in fact, I know, many people who own farmland. The going rate for the farm rental is at least $200 per acre. That's what I actually get, but, if you guys want to accept the 125, but the going rate, no less than 200 for farmable land. Like if there is a land that cannot be farmed, that's a different story, but it's up to you guys. This is a factual information. That's what we get.
Okay, further discussion, I'll add. So he took the 25% increase. I understand it was I understand Alderman Salus's position, I respect it. I believe we already discussed it, you know, with the council when he called me and expressed his interest in extending it, a decades-old agreement, and we've never had any problems with payment. Everything has been smooth, it's been without issue. So I thought that was a reasonable thing to go with. So we have a first and a second. Let's do roll call, please.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Abstain.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent, 1 abstention, motion carries. G8. Rescheduled common council meeting due to 2026 elections that falls on council meeting nights.
Motion to reschedule.
Second.
We've got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. G9. Let's see here. A motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 sub 1 sub E for competitive and bargaining reasons to deliberate and consider the request for attorney-client privilege court records related to deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, including but not limited to preparing development agreements and related regulations and development procedures for properties within the city and Wisconsin State Statute 905.03, lawyer-client privilege, and Wisconsin State Statute 19.35 sub 1, right to inspection, and to re-enter open session at the same place thereafter to act on such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate. Is there a motion to go into close?
Can I ask a question?
Alderwoman Eichman.
Counselor, do you advise us we go into closed?
Yes,
Okay. Then I will make the motion to enter closed session.
Second.
We have a first and a second. This will be a roll call for sure.
and the reason is because it is attorney-client privileged information, and the common council on this subject matter did go into closed session when it was here, I think, meeting before last,
I appreciate the clarification.
as well as negotiating bargaining rationale as set forth in the title and in the motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Craig.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Hassan.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
5 ayes, no noes, 1 absent. We are slowly going into closed session. 8 o'clock, 7:58. It's 7:58 PM. We are back in open session. Is there a motion to proceed as discussed in closed session?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Moving on to H's and Henry licensing. Who's taking licenses tonight?
I will do those this evening.
Alderman Craig, you've got the floor, sir.
Thank you. We had 3 operators that were looked at. The first person is being held over for a discussion with the licensing committee, and we will have a discussion with them after the fact. The other 2 operators were approved or recommended for approval, and then all 6 public grants were recommended for approval as well.
Alderwoman Eichman, you have the floor.
I should be directing this to the chair. For the first operator, I was under the impression license committee that we were holding for the
appearance.
applicant for appearance.
Yeah,
So it's hold for appearance.
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so under autumn is hold for appearance. Everybody else and everything else is motion to approve.
Yep, I'll second that.
Okay, first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to I as in Ida. There are 3 points, and this will be a roll call. City vouchers with an ending date of November 27, 2025, in the amount of $1,237,279.05. Point two, payroll dated November 28, 2025, in the amount of $457,297.26, and payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $655,207.47, plus city matching payments. And point three, estimated payroll dated December 12, 2025, in the amount of $499,000, and payments of the various payroll deductions in the amount of $268,000, plus city matching payments.
Still moved.
We got a first, is there a second?
Second.
First and second, roll call, please.
I'm sorry.
That would be Alderman Craig.
Alderman Peccarelli.
Aye.
Alderwoman Eichman.
Aye.
Alderman Assam.
Aye.
Alderman Salus.
Aye.
Alderman Craig.
All right, 5 ayes, no noes, motion carries, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
First,
Second.